Good morning, my friends. It is good to see all of you. Happy Thursday. Thank you for hanging out with me this morning. It is Q&A day, which means that this time is going to be focused around where you're stuck and helping you overcome those things. I'm also going to be introducing you to he might be the handsomest man in the room. We're going to introduce you to possibly the handsomest man in the room. I feel threatened. My ego feels threatened. We'll see how this plays out. If you are watching live, please say hello in the comments. We're going to get to the simultaneous sip in just a moment. Then I'm going to introduce you to somebody. Good morning, Meg. Good to see you. Glad to have you back. Hey, Drew. Good to see you as always. Good morning, Susan Anderson. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hey, Manny. Hey, Herb. Good to see you guys. What's up, Monica Gray? Monica Gray had a real big week. Lots of really good stuff happening inside the Capitalism Incubator. Hey, Brandon G. Good to see you. Hey, Stefan. Thanks for hanging out with me on your Thursday morning. Hello, Paulina. Good morning. Good to have you. Good to see you. Hey, Matt Ohms. Thanks for making it. Now, if you're new around here, we do something that makes every day just a little bit better. It's something that we call the simultaneous sip. We ripped it off from Scott Adams because it makes your sales go higher. It makes your stocks go higher. It makes your relationships just a little bit better. In fact, if you pay attention to this, you'll notice that your significant other just looks a little bit more attractive after the simultaneous sip. You'll notice it. Do the simultaneous sip and then take a second look. You'll see what I'm talking about. So, all you need to participate in this life-changing event is something that you can pour liquid in, like a cup or a glass or a chalice or a stein or a mug or a flankard or tankard, which is like a flask, but a tankard. It's like when you fill a tankard with alcohol. You just need any sort of liquid container, fill it with your favorite, I've got coffee, and join me now for the thing that makes your business just a little bit better. Something called the simultaneous sip. Go. Woo! Woo! Ooh! Mmm! By the way, if you're not making the sound effect after the simultaneous sip, ooh or an ah, you're missing out on about 33.5% of the dopamine benefits of the simultaneous sip. Okay, some of you have had the privilege of meeting the infectious joy that is Justin Marimi. He is the new product manager here at capitalism.com. His job is to work alongside me to make our two products, the 1% and the Capitalism Incubator, the best in class. So some of you have had the privilege of having his happiness and energy infect your day, and all of you are going to get the benefit of that today. Justus, you ready to hang out with me? Just give me a thumbs up. There it is. He's got two of them. What's up, buddy? How the heck are you?
What's going on, Ryan? I'm pumped. I'm fired up. That simultaneous sip, man. I looked myself in the mirror. I did a double take like you asked, and I'm looking better than I even thought.
Yeah, it's weird. We call them sip goggles. Justus says sip goggles, and they work on yourself. They really do work on yourself. Just so you guys know, today you have the opportunity to get in the hot seat with myself and with Justus. So we're going to talk a little bit about Justus's background so that you can see where he can really help you. But if you've got a question about your business, your product line, your brand, where you are in your journey, just hop into the green room. The green room, it's in your Facebook group in the post for today. So just click that link. It'll bring you here into the green room, and we can work on your business hands-on. So while you're making it in there, and I see Boston Joe is already finding his way into the green room here. Justus, I was hoping that you could give a little bit about your background, because you have this wonderful blender of experiences that makes you good at what you do. So would you share a little bit about how you got here?
Yes. Well, first off, just everyone that's in here, it's been a blast to see everyone in the 1%. You guys are extraordinary. I've been when I was looking into 2020 and just thinking about, what is 2020 about with all the craziness going on, this phrase came up that I think the future of justice in America is business. I think it's entrepreneurs. I think your ability to create a business, invest the profits, and create change is actually what's going to move our nation, our country, our world forward. So first and foremost, it's a privilege for me to even be here. And so one of the things, or a few of the blend of things that I've been able to do is, before I moved to Austin about a year and a half ago, I was actually a pastor at a church. I was the community pastor, associate pastor, youth pastor, everything pastor, because you wear a lot of hats. And one of the things that I took the privilege in was we were a church that had a lot of entrepreneurs and high performance individuals. We were small but mighty. And I got to sit with all of these wonderful people, whether they're in the nonprofit, for-profit sphere, and help them think about what's holding them back. And through that process, whether they were making a ton of money or they weren't making a ton of money, whatever they were going through, I saw this tendency that you have to help them think and ask great questions for them to come to a solution. If it's you that comes with the answer, then they're going to go, I don't want to do what Justus says. I think I can do a better way. And so I worked with youth that were single parent kids, low income, and I got to see change in their life just by asking them great questions. And I'd have high performing entrepreneurs, and I got to do the same thing. And I got to see them have unbelievable change. And that led me then to move to Austin, where I became a coach and a consultant. So I said, well, where's a place where I get to ask a lot of questions to my favorite people? And it's in business coaching and it's in consulting. And so I was able to use that, and specifically with a really good friend of mine who connected me with Ryan. And so again, I got to see these entrepreneurs that a lot of times when they were trying to scale their business, the one thing that was getting in their way, it wasn't them finding the right kind of software. It wasn't them getting better at a specific skill set. It wasn't that. It was them getting out of their own head and becoming who I believe they were created to be, problem solvers, and being able to build their business and get out of the way and live out of fear, live out of insecurity, and live out of abundance, live out of, hey, what else is out there? And so I was able to help people in that way. I got connected specifically with a friend of mine who said, hey, you need to meet Ryan. I just saw this job opportunity post. I think you'd be a good fit. That's where Ryan and I got to connect. So that's a little bit of my background.
And what we have been doing together we've been working together. Has it been even a month?
It's been 15th was a month.
Okay. So it's been, well, what's today? Oh, today's the 17th. I could have sworn today was the 15th. Let's see what kind of week I'm having. So it's been a month, and we've already kind of recast our visions for 2021 and what this community and what our product centers in 2021 are going to look like. And we'll be talking about that a little bit before the end of the year. We're kind of just putting some, dotting some I's before we make some announcements.
Yes.
But Justus's role here is to bring a new level of community and excellence to what we have already built here through 2021. So, Justus, it's kind of cliche to talk about New Year's goals or like reflecting on the year. I want to get your take on it. But first, I want to share with all of you how I am setting targets and goals moving forward, because there's another one of our new team members who has really inspired me to think a little bit differently about the way that we set goals and targets. And I'm going to be doing a podcast all about this topic. It's the topic of 1,000-day goals. So I am starting to, coming into next month, I'm going to be casting the 1,000-year goal. And the 1,000-year goal, it's the 1,000-year. What am I, a Scientologist? The 1,000-day goal. the 1,000-day goal. So the 1,000-day goal, Justus, you're the only one who understands me. The 1,000-day plan, or the 1,000-day target, is about 3 years. And I don't know how it is with all of you, but in my experience, if I set a 1-year goal and I get to about June and I'm not on pace, I feel like a miserable failure for the rest of the year, right? And now I'm just beating myself up. It's like, I beat myself up over the fact that I'm bumping up against this wall and I'm not able to grow past it. But 3 years, like you can screw the pooch for 6 months and you still got time to recover. And for those of you who have worked with me closely, you know that for the first 6 months when we're talking about growing your business, I tell you, it looks a lot like nothing's happening for the first 6 months. And then about 6 months kicks in and a fire starts to light and we start to get momentum and we start to pick up the pace. And then a year goes in and we're pacing $1 million and it still doesn't feel like much has happened. And then that doubles in year 2. And now we've got a sellable business in about year 3. And so that's about 1,000 days. So I'm going to be testing this idea of all areas of my life. What if I have one focus for 1,000 days? For example, on the content side, our 1,000-day focus is going to be growing our presence on YouTube. We have a clear path to success here. We have a clear targets. We have a clear strategy that we're really confident in. And even if we don't hit our goals, I feel really confident that if we follow the plan for 1,000 days, we'll be way better off than where we are today.
Yes.
And the same is going to be true with my fitness. I'm going to have one goal for 1,000 days. And it's going to be to focus on mobility and ease in my body. Right? I'm not going to try and hit PRs every week anymore. I'm going to be focused on mobility and being pain-free. And with my thinking and my mindset, I'm going to be spending 1,000 days cultivating a calm sense of presence within my mind. Not learning new things. That's a different goal. And I might learn new things along the way, but my primary target is going to be cultivating a sound mind, a mobile body. In business, my 1,000-day goal is going to be creating amazing products. My targets are not how many people do we put into each launch. It's not going to be revenue goals. My primary target for 1,000 days is, can we make the best products in the world? If after 1,000 days, do we have best-in-class, world-class experiences for our customers? It's a win if I do those things. If I have those few things to focus on for 1,000 days. And I just don't think that I can do that in a year, but I can do it in 1,000 days. So Justus, that's that's how I've chosen to set new targets, reflecting on everything that I've learned this past year and stacking it onto, where I want to go next. When you're working with entrepreneurs, and you've worked with a lot of them, how do you talk about this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love 1,000-day goals. I think that is a great way to kind of release the pressure of seeing immediate things happen and be able to progress systematically and stay focused. I absolutely love that. When I'm working with entrepreneurs, the first thing that I get in place is identity. So the path that I take is identity, purpose, vision, mission, goals. So the identity is where we separate who you are from the results you get and the business you own. So we have to understand, hey, if my business fails, I'm not a failure. I just failed at this business, but I am not a failure. So we remove that identity so that we know that, hey, on my own, I'm great. I'm a successful leader. We do that by having declarations that you say each day, every morning when you wake up. This is just making sure your identity is in place. The next piece of it is going, okay, I know my identity. Okay, what am I here to do? Why am I here? What is my purpose, right? And that's really the foundation of it. It's going, okay, my identity lays this great slab. My purpose is kind of this frame that I'm building. That's the purpose that why am I here? What am I here to do? Right? And then after we have the purpose, so we're stable in a good place, we go, what's your vision? What do you see? And I tell my entrepreneurs, hey, go spend a day, a few days, and just go dream. What do you see? What is the world you want to create? And it needs to be so crystal clear. It needs to be like a house that I can walk in. Meaning it needs to be a vision so grand that other people can live in it. Right? So when there is a vision where someone can say, hey, Justus, when you come into my house, the first thing you're going to see, there's 3 bedrooms on the right. You're going to see these wood floors. They're really nice. They kind of reflect the sun when the sun comes in. There's tons of light. It's an open layout. If you walk a little bit further, the kitchen's on your left. That's the kind of vision I want to hear for your business, what I want to hear for your life. What's happening with your kids? What's happening with your partner? What's happening with the people that you work with? What's happening with your team? I want to hear that vision. I want to be brought into it where it actually evokes an emotion. That's the vision. So what is your vision, right? And then the next thing is, okay, based on that vision, what is your mission? The mission is how. It should answer the question, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to do that by offering coaching classes, an online course, all this kind of stuff, one-on-one coaching, whatever it looks like. Okay, great. So I'm going to have a podcast. We're going to get to this I'm going to have a podcast. We're going to have coaching classes. We're going to have this. For your business, it might be, we have these 3 products. They're doing average 25 sales a day. The whole deal. And that's great. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. And how are you going to do it? I'm going to have a Facebook community. It's going to be awesome. So you know how you're going to get there. And again, when it comes to how, someone has to come in and be able to say, a new employee has to come in and go, I get it. I see. I can see how. Then it's the goals.
Justus, I want to pause you here just because the order of this is so important.
Yeah.
Because most people will say goals first or how first, And then later they figure out the vision. Like, I've shared this with you, and I've started to say this publicly. It makes me feel better about myself if I share this publicly. Guys, for those of you who sell on Amazon, some of you are my hardest clients because you're so good at the how and the strategy that getting you to think in vision is really tough.
I can see
and the
that.
temptation is to just throw more into the how. Throw more into, I've got 4 products that are selling. Let me now do 9. And then there's never a vision that's developed. And so we spend 2 months sometimes in Cap Inc. getting an entrepreneur to come back to vision, to cast the vision, so that they don't spend the next year launching products that don't build the vision that they want. and just so you all know, this order that Justus is putting it in, sometimes you have to go back to the very beginning stages. Last night, I was on a phone call with one of my longest friends, one of my dearest friendships, who just had a great business year and had some really big wins this year. And I said to him, I actually said, "Which house are you living in right now?" And he told me, he's like, "We're doing, we're remodeling the other house." And it's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, we're adding a 12,000 square foot addition. We're adding a 12,000. You're adding it. You're not building it or buying. You're just slapping it on." Right? Now, I tell you that because, first of all, super happy for him. And second of all, that little voice in my head, that little voice went,
"Yes,
I don't have a 12,000 square foot addition." I'm not even sure if you added up all my rental homes, it would be 12,000 square feet, right? It's like, there's this little voice that was like, such a loser. Such a loser. And so I actually had to do kind of this process again of remembering that a comparison or a failure, and then the brain's all, now the brain is on drugs of depression. It's like, well, not only do you not have a 12,000 square foot addition, but you've only got one Tesla, and you took out a loan on that. What if your business went away and you couldn't pay the loan on your Tesla? Oh, well, then I'd have to trade in my Tesla and buy a 1993 Chevy Cavalier. And if I'm driving a 1993 Chevy Cavalier and all the 1% members find out, are they all going to hate me? And then if I lose all my 1% members, CoffeeZilla is going to do some sort of YouTube expose on how my life went to shit. And then I don't know, I know people who are addicted to heroin. What if I get addicted to heroin? And then your brain is just you end up dead and broke and alone because your homie is building a 12,000 square foot addition, right? Our brains are the most scared little individuals.
Yes.
That sometimes you have to pause and have empathy for.
Yes.
So that rant around just to tell you that sometimes you got to go back to the beginning of the process of remembering that you are not your business, means nothing about your identity. Then going to, okay, what's the purpose? Why am I here?
Yes.
What am I here to have the nice things, or am I here because there's something much deeper that I want?
Yes.
And then it's about vision. And so doing it in order is so darn important. Vin and Meg, I'm sorry, I know I'm delaying getting you guys on. I can't wait to talk to you, but Justus, finish the 5-part process to life, love, and happiness.
Okay, great. I love it. And again, what you just said was so good, because so many of the entrepreneurs I see, if you're an entrepreneur, you are a visionary, you are creative, and you like to see stuff get done. And you're usually competitive. Whether you know it or not, there's a competitive piece of you that's like, how can I get ahead? Okay, I see what they're doing. I think I can do it better. And so for a lot of you, getting your identity in place is so important, because I see so often in entrepreneurs this imposter syndrome and this fear, this deep-seated fear of, who am I? And you see it when you hear it all the time. I sold my business for millions of dollars, and the next day was the most depressing day of my life. Not you, Ryan. Not you. If you listen to the founder of Instagram, he talks about it. He said, the next day he went from getting emails from so many different people. The next day it was J. Crew ads and his mom, and it was like, oh, who am I? So getting that in piece is great. So you got your vision, right? Then you got your mission. How does this happen? And then the last piece is your goals. I like to use the SMART goals, specific, measurable, attainable, something else, and timeline. I forget what the R is. But we want to make sure that you have these realistic. There it is. And so we want to make sure we have these goals in place. And this is a great time to put those 1,000-day goals. It doesn't have to be 30, 60, 90. I like to do 30, 60, 90. The only reason, especially with people that are just starting out with me, that I do 30, 60, 90 is that sometimes they got this vision. It's great. They've never done this exercise before. And then they have this huge 1-year goal and they stumble along the way and they just kind of give up. So I say, what's your 30-day goal? So they can get some wins in place so they can catch momentum that will take them for the long haul, because whatever they're trying to achieve is not easy, but they're the person for it. So that's kind of the timeline.
Justus, something that strikes me as fun, and I'll just put it out there for feedback to the community, is if as a community we went through the 30, 60, 90 process in January, February, March, so we hit 2021 with a ton of momentum. Because one of the things that allows me to set 1,000-day goals is the momentum that happens when something starts to work. Yes. It's hard to set 1,000-day goals when nothing's working, or you think that nothing's working. So I'm curious if y'all would find it valuable if we did a 30, 60, 90-day kickoff to 2021, and Meg says yes, and that way we're all getting some momentum and growing together as a community. So let me know either on Facebook or in the comments of this video if something like that would be fun. Now, Vin has been hanging out patiently in the green room for about 1,000 years. So Vin, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to hang out with us. Let's do it. Good morning, Vin. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to see you again. What can we do for you?
I need some help.
We got it. We just cooked up some help in the kitchen. We're going to bring it out to you. What you got?
Awesome. So I guess I was here last time, and if you remember our conversation, I started this social business. I came to your program a little bit late. I already started launching and everything, and then I realized, shit, I haven't done proper launch. So I have too many questions.
So what's your question? What's the problem?
First of all, I don't know who my person is. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the business. You said you've already gotten it off the ground.
Yeah.
But just by your energy, I can tell you feel stuck. So it doesn't have liftoff. Yeah. So sounds like you're not too late at all. Sounds like you're right on pace. But tell us a little bit about the business.
So this is I have a gourmet coffee, specialty grade, certified organic, and fair trade coffee. My whole idea was I quit my corporate job about 3 years ago and started traveling, and I didn't want to work just for money. I wanted to make a difference in a fundamental way. And while traveling, I realized there is so much imbalance in our reality, in our earth. We got so much abundance of food and all kind of things. Now we have driverless car, and we are going to the space for vacation soon. And on the other hand, we have children dying or getting sick due to malnutrition. And I wanted to do something about it. Then I saw Tom's Shoes thing, and I said, that's amazing. Somebody's doing they are donating one pair of shoes. Why don't we have people doing the same thing with food? Why don't we have more companies donating food? If you buy 1 pound of food, we'll donate 1 pound of food. That's where I got the idea, and I didn't know anything about you at the time. And said, okay, I will just find a product where everybody's using it, and then I'll donate equal amount of food. So that's I'm passionate about gourmet coffee. So I thought, okay, I'll go for gourmet coffee and I'll sell coffee. And if somebody buy 1 pound of coffee, I'll donate like 10 meals. Now I've worked out I can donate 10 meals in the schools of South Africa. So that's...
Okay. I'm totally with you. And there was absolutely no hesitation, resistance, or doubt in anything that you just said.
So
And in the next sentence, I predict you're going to tell me that the strategy that you're using isn't working.
I was going to tell my why. Like I know my why. Yeah. Like I'm on a mission. This is my purpose. I think this is my purpose in my life, because that's why
Beautiful.
I quit my corporate job, because
Yep.
I wasn't getting fulfillment. So now I realize, I can get fulfillment as long as I get $1,000 a month pay. I'm fine, because I'm traveling. I live in Ecuador at the moment. It's pretty cheap.
So what's the problem, Vin? I mean, we
problem
spoke a couple
is-
months ago. You were really clear on this vision.
Yeah.
So
What's up? My strategy had the organization I wanted to support, and they are like pretty big, like the Lunchbox Fund. I thought, I can go reach out to them and they will support me with their email list or something. So they said, we have burnt out in the past. So unless if you prove it, we cannot support you with our audience and everything. I said, that's fine. Then my second plan was to go to Facebook and advertise on Facebook. And then Facebook and Google, they banned my account because they're saying I cannot exploit social issues for commercial purpose. So I cannot.
Okay, makes sense.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I didn't know that. I said, that's fair enough. So at the moment, I'm just advertising on podcasts, which is very expensive.
So Vin, do you have a great product? Like, do you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
People are like, everybody thinks
the,
it's great.
the coffee is the product, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how many have you sold?
About less than 100.
Okay.
But half of them was giveaway. So let's say 50.
Okay. So you've taken a sale, right? And where did that sale come from?
Mostly from podcasts and influencers from Instagram.
Okay. Got it. Right. So I'm totally tracking with you. And I can tell that you're trying to scale before you have liftoff.
Okay.
Right? I mean, you're running Facebook ads, you're trying to launch through affiliates, you're running expensive podcast drops. These are all really good things to do once you're doing 100 sales a day.
Okay.
So you're looking for the chicken and the egg, right? Do I scale? But I can't really scale because I don't have liftoff.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't have liftoff if I don't have an audience or advertising or all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So is that where you're feeling stuck?
Yes, kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you remember what I told you last time? Okay. You might want to rewatch that one then. What was the advice that I gave you last time?
Okay. Say thank you notes, send out the thank you notes. Is that
I told you to start building your network.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're just going to have to be comfortable grinding to your first 5, 6, 10 sales a day until you're doing 25 sales a day.
Okay.
That's why we call it the grind. Because that looks a lot like documenting your time in Ecuador. It looks a lot like you having conversations with the little girl that you meet in Ecuador and showing how happy she is, despite the fact that she has nothing. And then you're asking the people who are watching to look inside a little bit and think, why are you less happy than this little girl when you have everything? It's time for a paradigm shift. And you go live in Ecuador and you drink a cup of coffee and you talk about these things. And you get one person who picks you up and buys from you tomorrow. And then 3 people. And then 10 people. And you just keep documenting the process and building relationships until you're doing 25, 50 sales a day. Then we can talk about the podcast drop. But you don't even know what your talking points are. And it's really hard to make good ads when you don't have your talking points dialed in. Really hard.
Okay.
You tracking with me?
Yeah.
Process out loud.
I don't have to do podcasts at the moment because I have to lift. I have to build a connection, community, and support group. But I don't know how to start. Where to sell? Like, how do people know? How would
Why
they
are
know?
you worried about selling right now? That's your
Because
problem.
I have coffee sitting in my warehouse. Like, it will go old, and
So this is
worried.
where, like, you had absolutely no resistance talking about your purpose, your mission, why you're doing this.
Yeah.
Talk about that more.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Because right now this is you. I have this amazing mission. I feel I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. People have no idea what's happening. It must sell product. It's like as soon as you think about sales, you get real tense and you get real stressed, and now you're not thinking about your mission and your reason and your why at all. The way this is the ironic mind fuck, Vin. If you talk about your mission and your why without any intention of selling dick, you'll sell a lot of coffee. Because the coffee doesn't matter. The mission matters.
yeah.
I can't remember what brand of coffee I'm drinking. It might be Whole Foods brand or something. I forget. Right? The product doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
The mission and the way that you make the customer feels matters. Justus, can you say this in a way that might land a little bit differently with Vin? Because I don't think he believes me yet.
Hey, yeah. Vin, before one, just thank you for coming on. Two, it's hard as an entrepreneur. And especially when you have this vision and you see these people of need, you've visited them, you've seen the need, and your heart tugs at them. And as a business owner, you're also going, but I have this coffee in the warehouse. If it goes old, it's not, I can't put it in people's homes. It's no good. And so I want to hear just a little bit, if you could say in one sentence, because I do want to maximize our time. What is the underlying fear? Like if the coffee goes old, what would be so bad about that?
I'll lose money.
Okay. And if you lose money, what would be so bad about that?
Nothing. I think meaning, just...
Yeah. And what's the worst that would happen if you lose money? Meaning, are you incapable of creating finances for yourself? Is that something that you struggle with?
Not right now, but I put all my savings on this in this project.
Yep. I want to get to the core of who you are. Do you as a person have skill sets that people can use that you can then ask for money for?
I have some investment I'm going to sell if it doesn't work out. I have my apartment in Australia.
Yep.
So that's my backup plan. So I'm not worried about that. I know I'm going to learn something from this. So that's the worth it.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. That right there is where I want you to stay mentally. I want you to stay right in that place. Okay. Yeah. Because what's happening is you have this amazing vision and this huge heart. And when you stay there, you're good. When you move into my coffee's getting old, and if it goes old, I'll run out of money. That's when we lose you. And that gives the child in Ecuador who actually needs you to be an all-star for them so that they can come out of poverty. They have the least chance of actually coming out of poverty if your mindset is, what about my coffee in my warehouse going old? But if Vin stays in, hey, okay, let me stay creative. Money is a resource, but it's abundant. It will not run out because I have skills. I know how to get a job. I have a backup plan. Okay, how can I share the story of my people and my journey with my audience? How can I get to know my audience better so that child in Ecuador who's living in poverty can actually get a way out? How can I tie their purchase to her rescue and bring those together without exploiting her, but just by sharing your own journey? Because Vin, when you got on there, that energy of where you were saying the vision, I want you to stay in that energy because it's powerful. And when you share from that place, I want to buy coffee.
Amen.
Is this making sense?
Amen.
Yeah.
What's going through your head and what's going in through your heart? I want to know those two.
I don't have an audience right now, so I'm wondering. I think I'm stuck in how as well. I'm clear on my why. I'm pretty
Yes.
solid
Yeah.
on that, you know.
Yes. Okay.
I have no doubt on my mission, my why, and why am I doing this.
So your how. Okay, so the next thing I want you to just practice, this is homework for later, is I just want you to stay in that creative space. When it comes to how, I want you to journal 10 ways that you could share your story to build your audience. Just be creative. Just 10 ways. And by the end of the week, I just want you to think on those ways and go, share them with your friends, your 10 personal contacts that know about your business and what you're trying to do. And then I want you to make a Facebook post and say, hey guys, I'm trying to get more people to help build my organization and serve more people. Here are my 10 ideas. Can you tell me about what you think about these?
Okay.
Share that story and always share a little bit, even if it's one sentence about that why. Because when people hear about it, your friends, they're going to go, wait, I didn't even know you did this. Are you kidding me? Yes. You want them to come in. The personal contacts those 10 personal contacts are going to be your SWAT team that's going to go out and spread the message to the audience that's going to end up being what I believe, and I hope you believe, to be thousands and thousands of people who don't care what it is, whether it's coffee or shoes or whatever, because they believe in the brand that you've built. Because they see the girl in Ecuador with no shoes on who's wondering, where am I going to get my meal today?
Vin, I got a question for you. Are the people in Ecuador happy?
Pretty, yeah.
Would you say that they're happier than people in the West?
Of course, yeah.
Of course. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been here for a while and it's beautiful. Nature is beautiful, and COVID is, it's nothing here. I mean, it's open, and
I think you also need to tell that story.
Okay.
Look at the smile on your face.
And it's cheap. I mean, I'm living in nature right now.
All right. Vin, we're rooting for you, dude. Keep us posted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good to see you, man. All right, Meg, you are up. You ready to do this? Let's go. Good morning, Meg. How are you?
Hey guys. Good. How are you?
Hey.
Glad to have you back. I can't wait to hear what's been going on since we last
Oh,
spoke.
yes. I know. It's been like a few months, I think, which is crazy. It's flown by.
You had just launched and we're starting to see traction for the first time. It's really exciting.
Such man, time goes by fast. Yeah. So since we last spoke, things have been going really well. It was kind of consistent for a few months, and then with seasonality, things dropped a little bit actually around Christmas time with party supplies. So right now I have a little bit of free time where I'm, I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm at a bit of a crossroad where I'm putting some investments in right now to get a Shopify up, and just kind of like a plan together of, I guess, the best way to invest. But I guess my question is, and I think you guys actually sort of just answered it, because I totally realized, like, I've been just so busy doing stuff that I haven't even stepped back to make an actual plan of any sort. So I guess I should probably do that. I just have all these things that I know that I want to do. Like, as soon as the Shopify is up, I can start advertising. And I know that once I can do that, I feel like we've already got a proof of concept that people want the product. So I know things can get big once that happens. But at the same time, I guess while I have this time, I'm wondering where I should be focusing my efforts. And again, you also just answered the question of, okay, maybe it should be really focusing on the audience side of things, because I have like an Instagram, it's slowly trickling, my email list is slowly trickling, but I just realized, like, I haven't been putting a lot of effort into that.
Meg, what is your favorite part of your business?
That's a really good question. My favorite part, I don't know. It's just kind of like in the creation, I guess. So, it's a little bit of, just being behind the scenes, really. Like, posting on social media is not fun to me, but I guess kind of creating the new products and the vision side of things, which is where I have been not spending my time.
And we're done. Great call, everybody.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too where there's a lot of investments I want to make. It's just also like, okay, should I be getting a loan to help accelerate things? Should I spend more of my own time setting the things up and running the operations and doing the social media in order to more organically create that space? You know, I
So
know
let
I'm
me
getting more
let me
help.
repeat it. Let me repeat it back to you, what you just said.
Okay.
Your favorite part of the business is the creative, behind the scenes visionary stuff.
Yeah.
And you want more of that.
Yes.
The things that you don't like are being front facing, sales, growing on social media, figuring out which platform to be on. Therefore, you need to figure out which platform you're going to be on so that you can create ads, so that you can take sales, so that you can create a whole bunch of social media content, so that one day you can do the thing that you actually want to do, which is create really great products and be the visionary behind your business.
Okay.
You see how that makes no sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So the answer is to do what it is that you want now. Is to do the parts of the business that you want to do, which is being the visionary, creative behind this business. Here's the rub. In order to stay in that place, you need time.
Right.
Free time. Creative time. Because you and I both know that you can't force that. Like when you run ads all day and create social media posts all day, you're not creative come 4:00.
Right.
It just comes out of you when there's nothing else going up the pipes. And so what you're asking is, hey, I've got room to be creative right now. What gunk can I put in my pipe so that I don't have this problem anymore? And that is the backwards way of doing this. Yeah. Thank God for Justus, because he reminds me of this right now. Like, we were sitting in, he was like, what role do you want to play in this company? And I said some things, he's like, all right, we just need to get you walking in the woods more. Right? It was like a reminder to me that, oh, right, that's the most productive thing I can do.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And that's the case for you as well.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess kind of prioritize.
Don't you hate it when it's that simple?
I know.
Everything I'm like, more complicated.
No. I try to complicate things so much. It's like crazy. Yeah. So.
Meg,
yes.
Can I ask you a quick question? What is the goal of your business for you? Meaning, what do you want it to allow you to do?
Honestly, for me, I just love being in the day-to-day so much, as far as like just having my own thing and doing something that I enjoy. So like, I'm not necessarily even one where like I sit down and set big goals. I just love doing this. So that's why I always am starting businesses. I just really enjoy starting businesses. But I don't know if that answers your question at all.
Meaning, are you looking to sell it and do something with the money? Or are you going, hey, I just wanted to create something that I can do every day that I really enjoy?
Yeah, exactly. Like I have no desire to sell it, because this is the first business I've had where it feels much easier and just like I'm having so much fun. So I really have no desire to sell it, but I do have desire to make it like really massive. So I'm ambitious in that way. Right now I don't have any desire to sell.
Okay. And when you say the word massive, what does that mean?
100 million plus. Like
yeah.
At least, yeah.
Okay. And why?
I just want to see if I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So if we're looking a year from now, and you're being who you are, you're doing everything you need to do, what is the one person that you either tool you need to implement, or person you need to hire, or system you need to create that would allow you to stay vision and creative and building $100 million business? Not in a year from now, but it gives you the best chance of building that over the next 10 years.
So I have thought of this. I need 2 people. I need a content social media person, and I need a operations person to handle the inventory, day-to-day stuff. Those are the 2 things I know that if I had now, like, we could make, big moves.
Awesome. So one, I love big vision, I love that stuff. You're speaking my language, and it sounds like you've got that grind, that like, let's get after it. So one of the things that I would encourage you as you're staying in that visionary mode is to dream of this content creator. What are they like? What do they think about all the time? I'd be talking with your friends and saying, have you met anyone like this? I'd be reaching out to people in the 1%. Do you know anyone that like this, that does this, that thinks this way all the time, that loves this? And just be dreaming and thinking. So when that person shows up, because they will, you're going, hey, I would love for you to jump on this team with me. Let's talk about what that looks like. So as you're visioning, I want you to start envisioning people that are going to allow you to have walks in the woods.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that.
Okay, awesome. Because that $100 million business is on its way, but it's going to take a team.
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Sweet.
Thank you, guys.
You bet.
You're welcome. Good to see you,
You
Meg.
too.
All right. Kyle, you get the last word today. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to come on the hot seat. Let's do this. Good morning, Kyle. How are you?
Ryan?
Good. Good to have you
Thank
back.
you. Hey, Justus.
Hey, Kyle. How's it going, man?
Good. So, part of the reason I like getting on here with you guys is just to become more comfortable talking with other entrepreneurs. Because, you kind of get just my little storage room actually is my office. So I've got 2 kids, so it gets kind of loud inside. Of course, I've got neighbor dogs that are really loud and annoying that you can hear probably, but anyway, yeah. So I joined the 1% because I really wanted to connect with other entrepreneurs and learn how to sell my business, Quick Camo. And so my biggest question, so I jumped into Quick Camo. It's my dad's business. He started with his hunting buddy 12 years ago. And his hunting buddy, fortunately, passed away. He had a progressive neurological disease. And so that was part of the reason I came in, just to help my dad out. Also, I lost my job as a PT because COVID shut down our clinic. And we decided to move to Utah. And the physical therapy clinic there is like, our budget actually is not going to allow us to bring you on yet. So I was like, all right. I'm going full in to Quick Camo. I really want to build this business, help my dad sell it. Where I'm getting hung up is I'm a physical therapist. I'm not a hunter, and I'm learning everything as I go. So but I want to sell the business. So I'm like, how do I build a story for my audience that can resonate with them when I'm not a hunter?
Why do you want to sell the business, Kyle?
Because my dad and I are both not really super into hunting, and we want to start other businesses. So we're kind of like, okay, we need to kind of figure out a way to exit the business. I mean, we could just let it die, sell the inventory we have, and but I think it's smarter to try to make something of what he's grown for a while. So
can you be passionate about the business rather than being passionate about the niche that it's in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I am, but not to grow it to where I want to work in it forever. You know what I mean?
So I can understand that. You should also just recognize that that's an assumption.
Okay.
It's an assumption that you have to care about the niche for it to grow to the point that you want. Something has to be interesting or passionate enough to warrant your attention. It doesn't have to be the sport or the niche. It can be the people or the team or the sector or the timing or the industry or the product or the process or the growth or the relationship with your dad. It can be any of those things that give you enough interest for you to put focus into it. So really the only thing you need to answer there is, are you willing to give it the amount of focus that it requires? And can you find something interesting enough to warrant your focus? Because if this thing started doubling every year, it would probably excite you enough for you to learn more about the business.
Mm-hmm.
But something's got to be interesting enough for you to put your focus into. And I'm not telling you to sell the business or keep the business. I just want you to know that the thought of I'm not interested in this enough to grow it is an assumption, and you can challenge that assumption.
Gotcha.
I know that's not the question that you came in with. So what was the question that you wanted some help with?
Well, I mean that's a good answer just generally, but yeah, so I mean what I kind of wrote down was like, do I need to hire or try to find somebody that is like a turkey hunter or whatever to come into the company to take that place, in the True Turkey Hunter Facebook group I created to get in there and to interact with people, because I'm trying to build that niche, that target audience, like really, and I'm like, I can't even tell them like turkey tips. I mean, I can go Google them and then repost stuff or whatever, but I just don't feel authentic about doing that. I mean, I do want to learn about hunting. I do want to learn how to hunt. I think it's a great, skill set to have.
So Kyle, what is your role in the company?
Everything. Like, that might sound, it literally is like I've done the packaging, created new products. We've got a whole line of new camouflage. I'm working with the licensees. I just started doing sales reps. We've got like, I think 17 orders over $1,500 each that I've helped generate. I'm doing Facebook ads. I'm working on YouTube. I'm literally doing everything.
You're doing too much.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Who's in charge of the vision of the business?
It's really me. I came in because my dad was kind of getting burned out. He started doing real estate. And so I'm like, I want to come in and help this business, become what I think it really can be. I mean, he sold hundreds of thousands of units through a partner in Walmart. And then beginning of this year, cut them off. They said, we're only ordering, I think they ordered 8,000 units instead of like 50 to 80,000 units, what they had in the past. So his Walmart business got cut off. So I've grown his e-commerce sales from last year. We were at $4,000 and over the entire year, and we're at almost 80,000 on our Shopify. And then Amazon's about the same, and then all these reps. So I'm like, I've come in and basically substituted what he was making from Walmart.
Great. Good. But no one's in charge of vision.
No, I mean,
what do you so trivia, totally leading question, but what do you think is a better use of your time? You copy and pasting turkey tips, or you taking time off so that you can get clear about the vision of your business?
Yeah,
do you have a full plate, Kyle?
Yeah.
All right. So
it's an understatement.
Justus and I telling you the next thing that you really need to do to build your audience is a waste of time.
Yeah. Telling me to go take time to meditate and walk in the woods and get the vision of the business. You're saying that if you tell me to do that, I'm going to say it's a waste of time, that there's too much.
Well, you probably will think that, but I was saying the opposite. It's a waste of time for Justus and I to tell you, here's the secret to building an audience. You need to run this ad to that Facebook group so that you can interact with them. You don't have time, and you don't care right now. It's like taking care of somebody else's sick kid. Like, you could do it, but like,
yeah,
somebody else has the love for them. You're probably not going to take care of them like you would take care of your own kid. So like, you're not going to care about any new process that we put into your business. You've already got a full plate. So the best use of your time is to stop putting new things on your plate while you go back to the vision part of your business.
Yeah.
You don't like that answer.
Well, the vision, maybe I'm stuck and maybe I need to change my vision, but the vision is to sell the business for multiple.
That is not a vision.
Yeah.
That is a selfish end result of what you want. That comes when you have a clear vision
Uh-huh.
that your customers want to buy into.
So the vision of the brand.
Yes. The
Yeah.
vision of the business, not what you get out of it.
Right. And I guess I don't know what that is, because I think
That's what we're saying to you.
yeah.
That's exactly what we're saying to you. You can't know what that is because you've been so busy maintaining a full plate. And like, kudos to you, man. You replaced the business and got it back on track. Now you got to go figure out what that means.
Yeah.
And that does not come from you doing the next task on your to-do list.
Right. Yeah, so I need to figure out the vision, because I don't know if it's hunting or if it's just blending into nature, because that's what we're creating is camouflage. That so it could be used by bird
Kyle, you're not
watchers.
going to know right now. You are not going to know right now because are you working 10 hours a day?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't think about 3 years from now when your focus is on getting through the 10-hour day. You just can't. Brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Your brain can't speed up and slow down at the same time. So great work. You got the business back to healthy levels. You've got e-commerce running, Amazon running, and these sales reps running. You've got a three-legged stool.
Yep.
You're back to profitability. Your job now is to start removing things from your plate. Sales are back to steady. You got to be okay not growing for 3 months. Because if you give yourself that space, you'll grow much faster. Because most entrepreneurs don't believe this when they're told it, but the things that grow your business the most don't take a lot of time and effort. They're breakthroughs that happen. They're breakthroughs, they're relationships, they're new ideas, they're new platforms, they're new big accounts. And those rarely come from you putting another thing on the plate and you're already in a stress place.
That sounds like it's going to take some faith to go and not be doing, or starting another Facebook ad or posting again on TikTok or whatever it is, and just stepping back and just trying to let it come to me. It sounds like
that is one way to look at it. I would also say, if you just want a different view on it, it actually requires some selfishness. It requires you to be selfish enough to enjoy this process enough and to recharge enough so that you've got the capacity to grow and serve.
I see where you're going there.
Because right now you don't have it. Of course you don't care about this market. You've got 10 things on your plate of you trying to fix the business for your dad. This is a responsibility for you. This isn't joy and passion.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who was in your shoes would feel the exact same way. The exact same way. But you did it.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic.
Now it's your time to go through this process that Justus is talking about, of asking the question of who you are, what you want, and what the vision is for this business. Then the growth comes. Then the strategy that matches it comes.
Gotcha.
So as I'm hearing this, Kyle, I agree with Ryan. We want to protect the entrepreneur, so that the entrepreneur can make the long haul. And so if we give you another thing on your plate, we're basically telling you go a little bit down that dark hole of burnout. What we want you to do is succeed. And so for you right now, it sounds like you and your dad traded burnout cards. And he was like, I'm burnt out. You're like, I'll take that from you. And then like a year later, you're like, well, I'm burnt out now. So I want to encourage you it might be a conversation or a group of conversation of defining the relationship with your dad in this business. And you can't have those kind of conversations while you're spending 10 hours a day. Like, that's why we want you to step away. What is my relationship with this business? Why did I get into something that I'm not passionate about? Was it for my dad or was it for me? Was it both? Was it mixed? What's changed now? So how do I need to approach this to set up my family for success? Because I can't continue down this road. And so I know it sounds really woo-woo to take a walk in the woods, but it's to help you, because I don't think a lot about how to romance my wife when I'm busy doing a million other things. But if I take 20 minutes out of my day to think about how can I make my wife feel like I'm in love with her the same way when we got married, then the ideas come in and I go, oh man, I got to do this. So that means I run down to the flower store, I pick up some flowers, and she's shocked and surprised. And then we have a surprise pregnancy, but that's beside the point. So what I want to encourage you on is, you can't think about how to set up this business yourself. You and your dad figured all that out. If you're going Facebook ads to the group, to this, you're not going to romance the business. And we want you to romance the business, or figure out if the business is something you want to fall in love with. Because there might be a bigger decision on there. I'm not saying what it is, but it sounds like there might be a bigger decision there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How is your head? How is your heart?
They're going to be conflicted for a little bit, I think. Yeah. So I need to figure out how to unite them.
Yep. One step at a time. Journal. Think about it. Talk with your wife. Here's what I'm processing. She'll know that when you're thinking from a place of fear or insecurity, and ask you the tough questions. So then you can take out the fear and actually make decisions based on a little more certainty and confidence.
Yep.
We're rooting for you, man.
Good work, Kyle.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the 1%.
All right,
you guys
man.
are awesome.
You rock.
Thank
Thanks,
you, guys.
Kyle. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
Whew. Justus, you need a cigarette?
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
People are saying we make a good team. I agree.
Come on.
This is fun doing this.
I love
with
it.
you. So Justus and I are spending the last couple weeks of our year getting super clear on our product roadmap. We're about 90% of the way there, but we'll have some announcements for you guys soon. Important reminder: we have a special community coffee this Sunday. This Sunday, we'll be hanging out with my buddy Ace Chapman, who is kind of on the other side of a lot of what we talk about. We talk about selling businesses inside the 1% and here at capitalism.com. Ace is a buyer. So he's on the buy side of businesses. There's two reasons you might want to come to this. Number one, if you want to sell a business, you can get inside the mind of somebody who buys businesses. And you can look at, what do they look for? Why are they in this game? What are they hoping to accomplish? How can I communicate my business and structure my business in a way that really excites them and wants them to pay me a lot of money for it? Number two, I think it's the coolest business ever to buy businesses. So I was on the phone yesterday or the day before with my buddy Corin Woodmass, because we did this interview with somebody who runs this food company that we would just love to buy. They're not quite ready for us yet, but we're talking about how, like, what a fun business it is to buy other businesses. Justus asked me a couple weeks ago, he's like, what's your plan of how are you going to buy the Indians, who are no longer going to be called the Indians, but that's a podcast for another day. Justus was like, how are you going to do that? I was like, I'm going to buy up businesses. I'm going to do a roll up. I'm going to buy businesses. Don't know when that's going to become the full-time thing, but that's I'll probably spend 1,000 days making capitalism.com the place where people build businesses. And then I want to be on the buy side. I want to be buying some of the businesses that come from this pipeline. So I'm learning about that now. And Ace is really good at it. So he'll be hanging out with us this Sunday morning. All right, guys, thanks for spending part of your Thursday with us. Special thanks to Justus for being the most infectious smile and attitude in Austin, Texas. Good to see you, man. I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Good to see you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
All right.
Take care.